Imagine you live in a world that's fake. Who are your heroes? Patriots. Imagine you live in a world that's totally plastic. Who are your enemies? If you're evil, the Patriots. We are the future. We are the leaders. We are 1776. We are those that were given the mantle and the birthright by George frickin' Washington and Thomas Jefferson. They've taught you to not know who they are or hate them. They were renowned around the world. George Washington, for weeks, had dysentery and lost about a third of his weight and climbed around in freezing ice with his men, where they would go on marches at night and they'd lose 10, 15 people just in one battalion, freezing to death. To at dawn battled the Germans 3-1 at places like Trenton in 30 below temperatures, in 20+ mile marches in the dark, with men dying all around him, and George Washington with diarrhea running out of his pants on top of that horse, marching to kick ass, marching not to give up, taking action. That's who we come from, and we let all these hunchback scum rule us. I will never submit to you. And the human spirit is rising. You will not turn us into animals. You will not poison us anymore. You will not kill us. Our spirit transcends all you've done to us. Simple. Stop feeling like you don't have power. Stop feeling pathetic and weak. Break out of your television-induced trance. It starts with a war growl. It starts with getting fired up, staring at yourself in the mirror and showing some teeth and saying, I'm a human being, I have dignity, I'm going to resist, I'm going to start recognizing the propaganda, I'm going to break free from it, I'm not going to fight with my family, I'm going to organize with my family and realize we're under attack by the social engineers, and I'm not going to fight with my neighbors, we're going to organize. Humanity's going to come together. Ah! Ah! We know we're under attack, we know it, we're breaking the conditioning.
Alabama, watch out, you're next. And then in the Alabama post game, they're like, hey, Jalen Hurts, so-and-so from Vanderbilt said, watch out, Alabama, you're next. And Jalen Hurts just in like robotic fashion goes, well, technically speaking, we are next on their schedule. And then Alabama beat them like 65-0. Just walked out. We're like, how fucking dare you put yourself, get my fucking name out of your mouth.
Exactly. Dude, don't give them any bulletin board material.
No. So Bama came out and just absolutely crushed them. God. And out here today, Vanderbilt beating #1 Alabama.
By the way, so I looked up their national championships. Do you want to guess how many
Vandy has ever?
Yes.
3.
They've won 6.
Really?
Yep.
What's the most recent one?
1922.
Fuck yes, dude. Who'd they beat? Johns Hopkins?
In 1922, they beat... What?
They beat Yale?
Okay, it's weird. It says National Championship Selector.
Oh, I guess it's the old system. They didn't have a game.
The fuck?
That makes sense, though.
Berryman, QPRS, James Howell. So, yeah. So, 1906, 10, 11, 18, 21, 22. Over 100 years ago was their last national championship.
I wonder if Vanderbilt, kind of like the other Yale, like not just Yale, the other Ivy League schools, it sounds like they were winning a lot of their natties when every other school's player was involved in a world war. And then you had these these kids at Ivy League schools like, I'm not going to fucking war.
I'm not going to war.
My father owns the railroad.
I need to learn.
I have to learn. I have to abuse labor practices.
I feel like I would have been a draft dodger.
Yeah, how would you have done it?
I don't know. I would have done it somehow. I don't know. I would have done it, though.
I think I would have I would have just died in a rice field.
If I got drafted, though, I would have been one of those people to all right, I'm gonna choose where I go now. I'm not gonna let them decide. I'm not fired. I quit.
I'm gonna sign up before you can draft me.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice move.
Yeah, be like, I'm gonna not parachute onto Normandy.
I'm gonna drive the trucks. What if I'm that guy? What if I'm the cook on the ship?
Yeah. What if I just clean the toilets?
That's
You
kind
cool
of
with that?
that kind of would suck too. Like you're in the middle of Pacific Ocean. You're in the middle of like the Battle of Midway. Like, they don't talk about those guys. The guy who's just like cleaning the bathroom and he's like, "Fuck! I hope our boys are winning."
And like like they come back and be like, "Sorry guys, oof,
The ship starts
warm
water's
in
coming
here.
in. You're like, "Motherfucker! I'm at the lowest part of the ship." That's not good.
Damn. So where we went to high school, there was a teacher who taught like web design and like shit like that, who at some point spent time in like submarines.
Who's this?
I forget his name.
It's a guy.
It was a guy. He taught like web design shit. He coached throwing for track. I forget his name. He had like a pole, like something hatch,
Yeah.
or like like something like that.
It's
And
pretty sick.
but yeah, like he spent time on like submarines and shit, and then he went and just taught fucking like coding to high schoolers.
That's intense.
The last day, his last day, I'll never forget. I forget, if this was my class or someone else's class, but I just heard this at some point. That he said, he's like, all right, guys, I'm retiring. This is like my last day. I'm gonna go spend my retirement money on hookers and cocaine. It's like a tenured high school teacher who's retiring. You can't touch him, dude. Like, he's like, you got nothing on me.
I'm gonna do drugs tonight.
I mean, he was probably kidding, but still, fuck it.
He's a double pension.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that
Absolutely.
guy's about
double
to
pension. Yeah, dude. Dude's
He's probably
chilling.
he's having a nice life.
Yeah, dude probably has a garden somewhere.
I hope he has a garden.
That's like,
fucking sick.
it's not like peace in life. I feel like is I have a yard and a garden.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like,
Yes.
It's like that's why I know I'm like I'm like Thanos kicking my feet up at the end of
Dude.
Infinity War and being like,
Let's get into the psychology of Thanos.
Oh, psychology of Thanos.
Thanos had
Was he right?
yeah, I mean Thanos kind of had a point. Now, and even then, like, you can't call him like a eugenicist or something. Like, well, it was random. He was not. There was no like ethnic cleansing. There was no bias. It was just a random culling.
Is that the classification of eugenics? Is that like
Eugenics is a very
pick who?
It's a very
who die?
specific
Oh, okay.
outbreeding of things, or like elimination of traits.
Okay.
Which is like, I mean, so do you know like what CRISPR is?
No.
CRISPR is a company right now that's doing like, they're calling them designer babies. And there's like positive things to it, like the way it's being spun of like,
What?
if you have a family history of breast cancer, we can go into the embryo.
Oh my god.
And we can remove that gene so that you can ensure that your child will not
shit.
carry breast cancer. But then you can do things like
This is the shit Alex Jones was talking about.
like it's pretty nuts, but it's
That's wild.
or like for someone like me, I'm not that tall. A lot of people in my family are tall. I could foreseeably like remove
Make sure that's a dominant
my short
gene.
trait.
Yeah.
I could remove my short trait
Yeah.
and have my kids be tall.
Damn.
And where that's like a positive thing to be like, well, don't you want to eliminate the negative things? It's like, is that eugenics?
I don't even know if I know what eugenics technically is.
It's the purposeful outbreeding of traits or elimination of different people from society. It's like the argument of like, should you let people with should two people with Down syndrome be allowed to have a baby?
Okay. So my brain goes to like the Roman or no, not the Romans. It was the
The Spartans?
Spartans, yes, who would throw the babies off the fucking cliff.
Yes,
if they
that's
looked.
eugenics.
Okay, damn.
Like we're only allowing the strongest to survive. Now the thing is, like, as humans, we're one of the few animals that protects the weak. Whereas other animal species, if there is a young animal that is not able to keep up, survival of the fittest, like that child or that baby isn't going to make it.
But also, like, we're also the only people that like you need to take care of a baby for fucking like a while. Like, you know, like most like animals, they get out, you gotta like, you know, kind of be around them for a little bit. I mean, like maybe in like not maybe in relative time it's the same, you know, depending on like how long we live versus
Like a lot of primates have babies that take a long time.
but like turtles, I'm sure turtle, like, you know, the fucking baby turtle gets out there, you know, the egg hatches, and like that turtle's like kind of fucking chilling, you know, for the most part, you know, kind of right away, and they live long ass lives.
But if you watch like those videos of like baby turtles being born, it'll be thousands of baby turtles are born.
Yeah.
And
That's a good point.
And only like 20 make it to the ocean.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's only the turtles.
It's Finding Nemo. It's like it's you know, like no, but not the turtles specifically. I'm talking about like you know, like Nemo.
Yes.
Yeah. Like how like it was only him.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, do you ever see? It's one of the coolest videos of all time. It's these they're bearded dragons or some sort of little lizard, and they get born, and literally where these lizards lay their eggs, and then they abandon them. A colony of snakes, I'm talking like thousands of snakes, live all around in these rocks.
Yeah.
So as soon as these little lizards are born, they have to sprint through a gauntlet of snakes to get up to this certain point where there are no more snakes. And you follow this little baby lizard on his run. I'm talking the entire earth looks like it's nothing but snakes. He's been in the world for 6 minutes.
But like they're like capturing this like Planet Earth style.
It's
you know,
like
they
it's
got
right
him.
on him.
Yeah.
It's like it's staged. So these lizards are like, the second they are born, they don't even have like a thought in their head. They just genetically are like, I must escape.
That's baptized in fire.
Yeah. But it's like the argument with eugenics is, if we as humans removed the snakes and then allowed all of those baby lizards to survive, would you then get, like, would over time the lizards get slower? And then if the snakes ever return, none of the babies make it out.
Well, if you believe in evolution, you would say yes.
Yes.
You know, because like over time,
That trait carries.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's why, you know, like in like dogs, like that's why, you know, like selective breeding in dogs is a thing. You know, like that's why we have dog breeds.
Yeah, and there's negative things to it. There's positive things to it.
Yeah.
Like if you're a person who hunts and you want those specific traits in a hunting dog, you can't breed that dog with a pug.
Yeah.
Because its babies are not going to be able to hunt.
True.
With the same proficiency.
That's crazy that like I was gonna say we weaponized, you know, like specialized is maybe the better term. We specialize dogs.
Dogs are like a tool.
Yeah.
With dogs and humans, that goes real nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
that goes back.
dogs and humans are so intrinsically tied. Like, we as a species would not be where we are without dogs. From like the earliest of days.
I can believe it, yeah.
Like, dogs became like an alarm system. Like, if you're living in the middle of the woods in a tribe and you have a fire going, we can't see in the dark. Dogs can't see in the dark, but dogs can hear. So the dog barks, and then we are alerted. That's why little dogs like Chihuahuas are so barky, because they know that the same way like a German
Because
Shepherd.
their ears are big.
Yes, but not only
They
that,
can hear.
like a German Shepherd will instinctively protect like a child if it like is bonded to that child.
Yeah.
A Chihuahua looks at us the way that child's looking at the German Shepherd, where the Chihuahua understands intrinsically, I can't defend myself. I need my human to defend me. So if I
okay.
bark and alert
Yeah,
my
yeah.
human, they'll
Okay.
defend me.
Okay.
It's like a symbiotic
I get,
relationship.
Damn. I've never thought, I always thought that the dog thought that it could take on the thing.
It's letting
That's
you
a,
know
That's a good, yeah.
there's a threat. Get the fuck over here.
What was
Tyson, protect us.
that? No, Tyson won't do shit.
Tyson will not protect us.
Tyson is knocked the fuck out.
Tyson's
at
an
all
old boy.
times.
He served his purposes in life as far as his guard duties.
Like 2 nights ago, like I went to bed, and like typically is like kind of a problem on the steps, like like not like crazy, like it'll take him maybe like max like a minute to go up the steps, like not a crazy amount of time, like he's just getting up there, and it was like 2 nights ago, I was like just like walking up steps, like just going to bed. And he just starts powering through it. He's like, I got this.
yeah.
I got this. Ooh, and I was like, all right, Tyson. All right.
Yeah, nice
all
burst.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But like at the same time, I was like, I don't know if I should be hyping him up to do this if like, it hurts him.
Hype him up.
Yeah, I mean, like he started going before I was hyping him up. He started going. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, like I just got excited.
Heck yeah.
I just got excited for him.
That's fun.
Cause I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I know you had it like that.
Do you want to know a kind of out there theory I have?
What?
With dogs? I legitimately think that dogs have some sort of like latent telepathic abilities.
What do you mean?
So this all started, I was somewhat under the influence, and I was watching this show called The Hunt.
Yeah.
And it was by the same people that make Planet Earth, except this entire show was just from the perspective of predators. So it only followed like first episode was predators in the Arctic. The second episode was like predators in the rainforest.
Okay.
And there was a scene where it was a wolf pack in the Arctic. And it was showing how or maybe not in the Arctic, but just like northern territories.
Yeah.
And it was showing how once it gets to be summer, or like right before winter, I guess, all like the vegetation is dying. So all the prey animals are dying. And they're like before winter where everything starts like, it gets like its fattest point or whatever and like bunkers down, they have to hunt. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting this all fucked up. It's the end of winter. It's spring. Everything's coming out, but everything's skinny and hungry. So all that there really is to hunt are these rabbits, these wild rabbits. And it's this wolf pack, and there's like 8 of them. And they're just like, they're all like these like skinny dogs. A lot of them are like young pups, and it's their first time hunting. And the narrator's like, this will be their first chance to like prove their worth to the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
So these 8 dogs are walking, they're walking, and one of them sees something and stops. And without even like looking in their direction or like a yip or a barker, all of them stop. And they all slowly turn, and they all look in that same direction. And I get that there's like body language stuff, but they weren't even looking.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I guess they could like hear like the footsteps up, and they all see. And at the same exact time, boom, they all chase it. And they're all chasing it, all 8 of them. And then at some point, the rabbit's like darting left, right, because the rabbit was not straighter than them in straight lines, but it could zigzag way better than them and like juke them. These dogs, without saying a single word, at some point go from 8 of them running to boom, 4 different groups of 4.
Oh my god.
They just like, these 4 on the right just like cranked off, but they're running in like formations. They're running in like V's. The guy's like, yeah, like each of these teams has its own mini leader.
Yeah.
Besides like the pack leader. So there's like the second in
Co-cap,
command took his 3 guys.
Yeah, there's a hierarchy.
And I'm watching this, and they just like perfectly all work together in such a way to like, as 2 different groups and then 3 different groups and then back to 2 and back to 1, cornered this rabbit and got it and then shared it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, they never practice that.
No.
Like, yeah, they can have like, when they're like, oh yeah, dogs are like play fighting to practice. Like, that's all well and good. But these other wolves have never hunted once. And yet they knew exactly like when to break off. Like, okay, now we're going to go left and like force this thing this way. So I start thinking like just about dogs in general. I'm like, were these dogs somehow like beyond body language, like to a level of body language that we can't even comprehend? were they talking to each other? And I started thinking about that a little bit deeper, and I'm like, dogs always know when another thing is a dog.
True.
Like, there's no reason why someone, like a dog, like Tyson's a big golden retriever.
Yeah.
But he still knows that a Chihuahua is a dog. Mm-hmm. And he knows that a cat is not a dog.
I think they know by smell.
So do all dogs latent have a dog smell?
I think to some extent there's something about a dog that smells the same.
Like all
Two dogs.
Yes, two dogs, no matter what breed, whatever, wherever they're from, two dogs can see each other and almost immediately understand that is a dog. And then just like somewhere deep in their brains, they know exactly like how to play, how to establish which one of them across all breeds. They just
See, like,
have these little things.
I got two parts to that. So one, I think it's all animals, because like birds.
Birds are birds are
Birds flying together and shit.
reptilians.
Same with fish. Like small schools of fish will
Fish are nuts.
swim together and shit.
Yeah.
But my second part is as people, like we know how to communicate to each other as people. As people, we'll all, I don't know, like. As people, like, we're all flowing the same flow of traffic for the most part. There's a few people that go a different way, but like, I think as far as like that, I think it's like somewhat of an inherent trait in like your being
For your species.
Yeah.
But it's like, what if we were a species that could not vocalize? Like birds vocalize like people.
Yeah.
Whales
True.
vocalize like people.
True. Ants. How about ants?
I'll be honest. I get too deep thinking about ants, and I'm not sure that ants are like the same way that people. There's a part of people that I'm not sure we were ever part of this earth from the start, because we are so unadapted for the world.
Yeah.
Like we've had to create an entire separate world from nature to survive.
Yeah.
Ants,
But also, to some extent, to get deeper into, this is
right.
like the perfect place for us. Like we've thrived here for so long because we can do good here. Like
but we're doing bad things to the earth to make it possible.
Yeah. And all those this is it David Attenborough that does that shit? Okay. I got mixed up John and Dave. I think John was the one in Jurassic Park. Or his name might be John.
Oh, that's the main professor guy?
Yeah.
I think
it might not be John.
I think
it might be
right.
another
Something
name.
like that.
Another Attenborough. I
Yes.
know it's another, but David Attenborough does a Planet Earth shit,
Yes.
right? So he has another thing on Netflix. And at the end of like every episode of this like one show, he's talking about how like we're fucked, guys. Like basically he's like the planet is fucked up. We're like by like 2040 shit's going to be like Mad Max basically. Because he says like what we're doing to it. He talks about the ice caps and like all that shit. I don't know. I think the world's gonna be fine. Like, while we are still here, while the people that would hear this and the people, I think we're still gonna be here.
Yeah, I do think within our lifetimes and the generations that follow us to an extent.
Yeah. Or we'll be old and it's like, oh, there's a worldwide flood and we're all gonna die.
We as Americans, like as bad as it sounds, we will be okay for much longer than other people.
That is a good point.
Like there's a lot of other people on this globe who are going to suffer immensely more than us.
Yeah.
For probably, for a long time.
Well, because dude, like we've been having like the fucking hottest days for what, like a few years now. and like even like day to day, it's like, oh, it's a hottest day of the year. Oh, it's no hottest day ever. Next day, oh, it's the by the way, reject that. That's wrong. It's now the new hottest day. And like that happened for like a few, you know.
And so it becomes a thing of like, is my thing kind of goes back to I do somewhat have a theory that maybe humans are not originally from this world. I think maybe what the theory went off for a while was the asteroid that hit the dinosaurs could have had some sort of bacterial life on it, and maybe that was us. Because prior to us, it was just reptiles.
Yeah.
And then after
But
one of the extinction events, then the mammals happened. And it's like, I can understand how they explain like their evolution. Like, well, you have like an egg and the egg has water in it. And that's how we went from fish to reptiles. And then mammals said, well, rather than laying an egg, I'll have the egg inside me in a womb. And that will be my egg. That's pretty much all we're doing.
yeah. Yeah.
But like,
Do you know the thing though that's like now I'm like, you know, like now it's not the best time to talk about this, and I forget so much stuff about biology.
hell yeah, dude.
But
No, we're experts.
dude, I took so many bio classes in college, and I can't tell you.
You definitely know way more about it.
No, I can't tell you how much of it I forget. I forget so much of that shit, bro. But so as far as what was kind of taught to me, to some extent, we more or less have like stardust in us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Everything we are made of
yes.
is infinitely old material.
Yeah, from old stars and shit. Which it's crazy to think, you know, we're fucking Stardust Crusaders. You
Dude,
know?
so not to come in over you. It's so funny you said, like, literally yesterday, I was hard boiling eggs, and Emily comes into the kitchen and she says something like, she goes, "You didn't put a lid on those." And I just kind of turned to her and I was like,
I'm made of stardust, man.
I was like, I did. I said, "I'm boiling eggs." And she's like, I was like, I am made up of material that has been traveling through the depths of the known universe for eons beyond imagine. And that is what has created my form. And you question whether I know how to boil eggs? But it's like, that's...
You pulled a Connie and said, I am a god.
I literally was like, dude, like, to an atomic level, we are all essentially immortal beings.
Yeah.
We are made of material, and our material, when we die and we decompose, whatever, whether it's our soul, our consciousness, will just go back into the earth and then be expelled from the earth. And maybe we stay in the atmosphere for a while as rain or whatever. And then at some point, we will leave this planet again and travel back through the vacuum.
There's actually a beautiful moment in Vinland Saga talking about this. Dude, like it, like, you know, like it shows a dude that died on the battlefield. Oh, you good? It shows a dude that died on the battlefield, and then, like, you know, like someone's like, should we save him? Like, what's gonna happen to him? And then someone's like, nah, dude, like, he's gonna die. And then they're like, but his body's gonna do a lot for this land.
Hell yeah.
And then, like, it like did a little mashup of like the worms getting at his body, and, like, you know, like just like the whole ecosystem thriving off him, and, like, you know, and like the like nutrients that, like, his it's kind of dark. It's kind of dark.
But it is,
like,
hey.
his body like giving back, but it's also like it's like the ecosystem and the cycle is what I think it was trying to do and
100%.
show.
Have you ever considered how you want to be?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I don't want to be cremated.
Absolutely, I don't want to be cremated.
Is your fear also that you might feel it?
No, no, but I like that.
It, like, see, like that have died down, like, as I've grown.
Do you think like
a little bit?
your consciousness and your soul will be in some way alive, like without your corporeal form still?
Yeah, like I don't know. I think I'm just a kind of paranoid person, and I think that once my body is gone, I am kind of just still asleep,
Yeah.
and I'm there, and I'm gonna feel. I don't know, but like, I don't know. I think maybe that is a thing with just like growing up, and just like being, because
Well, there's nothing
no, but like
wrong or strange about that. Like
know,
that's
yeah,
a
but, like,
perfectly valid.
But
way
talking
to
about it
view your-
now,
like, your-
I'm saying it, and like now I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm not gonna feel that shit. So
It's
like
hard to
now,
say.
so
I think there's
saying that out
something
loud, I don't
negative
know.
about so going back to like that cycle of things and like considering ourselves to be stardust in some way. When you die and you're buried, like I don't think it's right that we're making these coffins that keep your body from decomposing. We're pushing ourselves full of formaldehyde and because what
that
we're doing
shit's-
is
that shit I do not like.
it's crazy. Like we are preventing ourself from being part of that cycle. We are now, and we're doing it to each other. Like we are so afraid of looking at someone that we once loved and picturing that they will not be that we're now preventing them from reintegrating into the cycle. And I think the same thing with like cremation. It's like if you bury someone in the ground, which I don't want to just be buried either, or like in a pine box or something. But if you turn me into carbon, if you blast me with fucking jet fuel or whatever they're burning, and you turn me into just a pile of ash, then everything that makes me up, all these different atoms and elements and all that, now I'm assuming just a pile of carbon. You've taken, and then we have these ashes that people hold on to, but those ashes, you have destroyed everything that made that person who they were
Yeah,
in a physical form.
true.
I really like, I have two different things. One is Tibetan monks do a thing called sky burial, and it's they take your body.
I'm sorry. All right, yeah. Keep going.
They take your body to a sacred ground, and they kind of just leave your body out. And I believe somebody keeps vigil over you. And what they do is they allow predators, whether it be vultures or wolves, and those predators come and they consume you. And you are eaten by creatures, and then whatever's left of you after a certain point is then returned to the earth. But that's part of their belief in reincarnation. That
Yeah.
unless your form returns to the earth, how could your soul
Move on.
move on?
Yep.
And the other thing that I think is really beautiful is there's a new thing. I'm sure it's been in other cultures, but I've heard about it a lot recently. And it's to be essentially turned into a plant. So you would like take a person and you would put them in the ground, and then you would cover them in some sort of probably a fungus, some sort of mushroom, and like the natural decomposer, that fungus or bacteria, whatever, decomposes your body, and then you plant a tree in that soil, and then the tree is directly fed by those nutrients, and you kind of become that tree. And I
That's
think
cool.
that's a really beautiful way. If
I
you
like
could
that.
just,
I do.
and not to make it capitalistic, but I have considered, I'm like, if I went out and bought like 1,000 acres in like Montana,
Yeah.
and I said, hey, you can buy a 100 foot by 100 foot plot, and when you die, I will bury you in the middle of that plot, and I'll plant a tree on top of you. Boom. And then you
And, like,
create,
that's your grave.
that's your grave.
a tree.
A tree.
It's kind of cool.
Like, I just think there's something very, like, right about that. Because go back to, like, what we were saying about, like, animals and, like, survival of the fittest. Like, we might be the only animal that purposefully prevents our people of our species from returning to the earth.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, we are the only species that, like, puts our the ones that are gone, we put them in a box,
Mm-hmm.
you know, coffin, and that way, like, no one can, like, nothing can reach it, you
Yeah.
know, where, yeah, I mean, the Earth would be like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why global warming is happening.
Well, there's something to it that, like, I mean,
Maybe the Earth is mad.
This is what I mean. This is what brings me all back to, like, there's something
know, but-
inherent in humans that we actively fight the Earth.
do.
And I do kind of think that the Earth is, like, we think about, like, all the organisms that live on the Earth, but we don't view the actual planet itself as, like, a living thing. And if you do view the Earth as a living thing, it's like, does the Earth have a will?
I think so,
I think so too.
to some extent.
Like,
But
can the Earth, not to say that the Earth can get angry or anything like that,
I was gonna
because
say,
if
yeah.
the Earth does have a will, that means that the Earth has been, you know, the Earth has existed and will exist far beyond our small lifespans, even as a species. Like, we're talking like 7,000 years of history.
I mean, I think the Earth will, I think the Earth's gonna be here.
yeah, the Earth's like, if there's global
If
warming,
we're,
the Earth's
like-
not going to explode.
I think, like, regardless of what happens with people, I think the Earth is gonna be here after
Yeah,
people.
I mean, we're talking like when we talk like the dinosaurs, we're talking at like low numbers, like dozens of millions of years ago, as opposed to like 7,000 years of like recorded human history, maybe like 50,000 years of like somewhat developed primates.
Yep.
In that grand timeline of like what the Earth is and what the Earth will be.
We're just a tiny speck. That's why I don't think the Earth's gonna fucking crumble while we're here. It's been here for so fucking long.
Yes.
If we're here while it crumbles and like while like the ice caps melt and like we all fucking drown, or like the volcanoes fucking, you know,
Yeah.
2012 shit basically. If we're here when that happens, we're going to be the unluckiest people that have ever lived. Like, honestly.
So you go to like, if you want to speak in like a biblical sense. So we have this assumption of human history. Like, I'm saying like 7,000 years of like recorded human history. We have this assumption that we are the first humans. I do think we are the first humans to ever be this advanced. But we have
But, I mean,
this.
that's always going to happen. You know?
It would be pretty hard though at this point with the materials that we're using and the, like the things that we're doing to the Earth. It would, now who's to say, maybe in 200,000 years there'll be zero trace.
Yeah.
But like when you talk about like Noah's Ark, for all we know, there were humans. Let's say 15,000 years ago, and they had a couple thousand years of civilization, whether they got to like a Bronze Age point, whatever they got to. And then there was a great flood. And, you know, a large part of humanity died, just like a couple times there were extinction events for the dinosaurs. Like, and then let's say 10% of the humans survived. The humans that survived were in the Middle East and Africa. And that's where we had to restart civilization from.
So, so according to evolution, humans weren't around when the meteor that killed the dinosaurs like happened, right?
I don't know. So I don't know
Maybe biblically
exactly
and
which.
evolution we weren't.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. But I don't even know if there were mammals. Period. And
Just
we don't
like-
even know if there was an asteroid. And if there was, we don't
That's a
know.
good point.
We don't know which iteration of dinosaur
True, yeah.
or pre-dinosaur creatures that asteroid could have killed.
True,
We're just
yeah,
guessing.
because we don't know, yeah, because like, you know, there's craters all over the fucking earth, but we
Yeah.
don't know which one
They
did that shit.
think that the moon hit the Earth.
What?
The moon hit the Earth and then got stuck in our orbit.
I've never heard that one before.
How else?
That's wild.
How else would the moon enter something that
I feel
large?
dude, if
enter
the moon
our orbit?
hit us, I feel like the earth would crumble.
It's
Something coming
two
that
rocks,
fast.
two giant rocks in space. One of them's bigger and has
Yeah.
Supposedly, from what we say.
But dude, if something hits the Earth like that, I feel like it needs
It's like
to
a
be
cue. It's like-
going.
it's
bro.
like
I
a-
feel like, bro, like
well, the Earth is going. The Earth is also traveling
I know, but like
at an unbelievable speed.
I know, but they talk about like a meteor hitting the Earth the size of like Texas could destroy the fucking Earth.
It destroys life. It
Yeah.
does not destroy the Earth.
I see. Okay, I see what. Okay,
See what I'm saying?
I do
like
see what you're
when the moon hit the Earth, for all we know, there was no land, or maybe there was no water.
it was definitely late.
It was just a formless thing.
yeah, we don't.
The Earth could have been nothing but water when
Yeah.
when the moon hit the Earth.
God said, "Let there be water," and then
Yeah.
the moon hit the.
Like that's a yeah. I mean, we have no idea. We don't know how old the Earth is.
No. Well, they've tried. They've.
I don't believe them.
There's like, oh, we've been here for 7 million years or some shit.
It's a lot longer than that. The Earth has
No,
to be
yeah?
billions of years old. I think the most recent dinosaurs were 65 million years. I think that's the Cretaceous
What number did
period.
I say?
7.
Way off.
Like,
It's just like crazy number in your head. I'm like,
it's
this is something-
insanity. It's so crazy.
Um,
But like, I mean, you think like the Earth, like, so we talk space stuff. So like, if you believe, because I think it's also a theory, like the Big Bang is a theory that there was this point in the universe, and then it's like what comes before the Big Bang. I'm not even talking about all that. But it's like the Big Bang occurs, and there is this from a central point of nothing, bang, everything becomes what it is. But when they say like the Big Bang and then everything was here, it doesn't mean like the Earth appeared. It means like all these particles shot out from this like liminal space and then formed the Earth, shooting through the universe. Somehow we got caught. Like you start having like not even solar systems, like universes. Like something catches millions of stars, and then all these other bigger rocks get caught in the orbit of those stars, and then smaller rocks, moons, come and they get caught in the orbit of those smaller rocks until rocks are too small or space is too big for them to join the orbit. And then somehow that material, like whatever the fuck the middle of the Earth's made of, some sort of molten core, slowly like catches the Earth, like catches like dirt, and then that dirt catches water, or like the elements come together and make water.
dude, I imagine the universe starting like a fucking anime opening. Like it's all like fast and it all just like happens within like 2 minutes. You're like, yeah, just
Well-
this is how it is.
And now we get into the concept of time. How fast did it occur? Because time doesn't exist.
Who knows, bro?
I told Emily, I think, dude, this, I'm sorry. I feel like, I'm glad this
Don't
is
be
someone
sorry, no.
pulled in. I've been discussing these things. I told Emily I don't want to celebrate my birthday anymore. I don't, I'm going to start living life. I'm not worried about the passage of months and years and all that. Like, we have created all these short and long-term guidelines to our life. Like, a year does not exist. A year is something that we
True, yeah, it is.
imposed on ourselves.
Well, I mean, scientifically, you can say that
Like
it is
lunar
the
cycles
Earth
and all that.
traveling around the sun, right?
So they say.
Or yeah, it's us traveling around the sun, not the sun traveling around us.
Well, like the seasons and all that.
Yeah, but like
at the
which one is
completion
it?
of that.
Like,
We go around the sun.
yeah, okay, cool, yeah.
So
That's what I thought. Okay,
that was a big argument for thousands of years.
Absolutely,
They were killing people
yeah.
for saying what you just uttered.
There were wars over what I just said.
There were people like tortured for like decades over being like, actually, I think that the Earth's around the sun. They're like, oh,
What is that heresy?
the church is going to take your fingers now. Hold on, I gotta piss quick.